Hmm. One more stream notification to go out. Meanwhile, we'll have all our array of warnings. Okay. Yes, we support an autosave feature. I get it. By now. Oh yeah, I'm gonna do that. Okay. I have to add ideas for my stream deck. For the magic of automation. Like, okay. Okay, so fix that. Okay. Ba-ba-da-ba-ba. All right, let's get cooking. Hank. Turnabout Storyteller. That's right, we finished our case last time. So we get to start on a new one. Oh boy. Here we go. Ah. Gears are turning. Episode 4, Turnabout Storyteller. Jenny May.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. What time is it? It's 9, 10, 11.
Shisho's dead? No. Do you think he did it? Oh no. If he did, then what do we do? Hey, pull yourself together. Don't worry, I have an idea. Howdy, Bacon Mutt. If I didn't already say that. Boy. May 13, 9:45 a.m. District Court. Defendant Lobby. Number 6. Hold on. Get this. I have like 2 bites of apple left. Let me get through that so I can focus on the back. Okay. Heck. What the heck? Who brings a defendant to his own trial late? Plus, the request was so last minute, I didn't even have a chance to talk to my client. He's late for a very important date. My name's Athena Sykes. Armed with analytical psychology and a full arsenal of legal know-how, I'm a fully competent defender of the right anything agency. Though I wish my client would show up already, trial's about to start. Huh. It appears we made it just in time. Where have you been? The trial's about to start, Simon. Oh no! I completely forgot how I made him sound. No good heck. We needn't get so worked up, Athena. His baldness can wait. There's no way to wait for me. Besides, why would I want to start off on the wrong foot with him right out the gate? Dealing with such matters is part of being a lawyer, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, well, covering for your lateness is not. Still a bit of rank amateur, I see. This Simon Blackwell. He might not look it, but he's actually a prosecutor and a psychology specialist. He and I go way back. As for our shared specialization in psychology, we're both disciples of the same person, so to speak. But he's kind of my senior, I guess. A twisted sense of humor, no, I wish he'd stop treating me like a child all the time. What's the matter here? Hank. So, right donor and justice donor. Mr. Wright's abroad and Apollo's helping Trusty with her magic show. Didn't I tell you? They're what? So neither of them are here, leaving you to take this on alone. Yep. Ye gods. Call right donor back. It's not too late. Oh no, not too late at all. He'd only didn't know how to teleport. Very well. Then I will settle this for justice, donor. Go grab him by the horns and drag him here. Apollo's literally in the middle of a show, Simon. You may not want to admit it, but I got what it takes to take on this case. Just leave it to me. Go watch from gallery. As your defense derails in spectacular fashion. No, as I win the heck out of this trial. I'll be okay, promise. So wipe that look off your face already, will you? Anyway, I take it the guy behind you is, yes, he's asleep again. Boy, Bucky, wake up. Yeah! What'd you do that for, Simon? Oh. Who's this yellow chickadee? She's your lawyer, such as it were. I'd say she's more green than yellow, however. Lawyer? She sure doesn't look it, does she? Is she like your fellow apprentice or something? Huh, something like that. I've known her longer than I've known you. You could say we're bound to one another. Oh, okay. Well then, guess I better call her Ms. Chickadee then. Simon, this guy's not only rude, but he's 3 sheets to the wind at his own trial. I know we just met, but I'm about ready to give him a piece of my mind. Okay, heck, 1 second here. Break a thing. Hopefully not break a thing. But things sure do like to break. Okay, back. I know we just met, but I'm about ready to give him a piece of my mind. Do as you will. Just save it for after the trial. Miss Chickadee. Don't call me that. Howdy do. Simon here's an old friend of mine. I'm the 4th generation head chef of Wet Soba. Wet noodle number 4, Bucky Wet. Nice to meet you. It's nice to meet you too, Mr. Wet. So he can pull himself together when he wants to. If only the trial wouldn't start in a few minutes. Having been accused of a murder that only occurred yesterday, I'm afraid it's taken a toll on the poor boy. You happen to be there at the theater where it all happened too, right? They said they found a rocket ghost storyteller murdered in his dressing room. Indeed. The victim, master storyteller Typhoon Tornado, okay, was a long-time patron of Wet Soba. Master Tornado had been looking after Bucky ever since Wet Noodle number 3 passed away. I see. So victim was kind of like father to Finn, huh? That stupid old far. Like a father? No way. He was always dishing my soba. How dare you speak ill of him? Running your mouth like that is why they suspected you of his murder in the first place. Now, pull yourself together. Number 3 must be rolling in his grave. But Sammy... The police... None of them believes me. They won't listen to me. Looks like he's still in shock from the whole ordeal. Don't worry, Mr. Wet. Everything's gonna be fine. All right. I'm gonna defend you with everything I got. You're in good hands now. You mean you believe me, ma'am? Of course. No matter what, I'll believe in you to the very end. Gee whiz, Miss Chickadee. Now, come on. I need you to shape up, just like those al dente noodles of yours. Yes, ma'am. My soba is the freshest. Oh, no. Huh? Mr. Wet. Bucky, you great big pillock. So, how exactly you know this guy? I used to frequent Wet Soba, and still do, in fact. So I've known him since he was a lad. That's why his father and Master Tornado were always so good to me. I didn't know you liked soba so much, Sam. I wouldn't expect one such as you, who eats meat slapped between slabs of bread, to understand the delicate taste and subtle textures imparted by buckwheat flour. Eat your hamburgers, Athena. Hey, that's just rude. But I digress. I'm all about flavoring subtly and stuff. If I let Wet Soba end like this, I'll never be able to face number 3 or Master Tornado in the next life. I see. That's why you came to me. You wanted somebody you could trust. It was never my intention to ask you. I'll show him. I can handle him just fine. Well, I believe it's just about time. What? But we ain't even properly discussed the case yet. What's the matter? You look nervous, Athena. Don't tell me you're chickadeeing out. I'm just trembling with the excitement of battle, that's all. Okay, let's go. Let's do this. Come on, Mr. Wet. Get up off the floor. We got a case to win. Yeah, I smell chickadee. I'm gonna do my best.
Wet soba, wet soba, wet soba, wet soba, wet soba.
This is so cute. Hello. 2 bowls of noodles. Sorry, sir. No can do. Kinda busy at the courthouse. Huh? They hung up. Okay, let's do this. He's not gonna do himself or his case any favors like this, Simon. Maybe we should let him go get some rest somewhere. Let me rest. Maybe if I were a lump of regular flour dough for udon noodles. I'm fresh, like my soba. And yeah, don't let soba dough rest. It's all about the three freshes. Grinding the buckwheat seeds fresh, cutting the dough fresh, boil the noodles. He's blacked out. Oh boy, I just knew something like this would happen. Simon, what are these three freshes of soba he was talking about? First, buckwheat seeds are ground to make buckwheat flour. Then dough made with this flour is cut with a large rectangular knife into noodles. And finally, the buckwheat noodles are boiled. Each step is done immediately, one after the other, so the soba is fresh when eaten. Oh, so that's what it means. I wouldn't want to make me any soba right now, though, that's for sure. Athena, this is no time for idle chatter. You will need to get into the courtroom now. Just remember, as a prosecutor, I will be unable to lend you a hand. So don't expect any help from my courtroom. There you go, treating me like I'm incompetent again. For your information, I wasn't planning on asking you for help anyway. Just you wait, Simon, I'll show you. Mr. Wright and Apollo may not be here. Well, that's all right. I can do this on my own. She can. Beep it. May 13, 9:50 a.m. District Court, courtroom number 4. Day 1. Court is now in session. All rise. Court is now in session for the trial of Bucky Wet. Defense is ready, Your Honor. This is not true. The prosecution is fully prepared, Your Honor. You just hopping back and forth, ain't you? What's this? No prayer this time, Prosecutor, said Marty. That is correct, Your Honor. To expedite these proceedings, I completed them beforehand in the lobby. Very thoughtful of you. By the way, what brings you back to this country? Chief Prosecutor Edgeworth himself called on me to handle this case. Besides, I have a debt to repay. And though my opponent is yet a callow thing, I have no qualms sending her down to hell.
Objection!
If you have a score to settle, it's with Apollo, not me. But more importantly, I am not a callow thing. I'm a qualified and capable attorney. Then what is that yellow attire, if not proof of your immaturity, you small spring chick? Have you never watched Legally Blonde? Now, cease your shrill chirping. No, Prosecutor said Marty. She's still only a teenager. Please go easy on her. What? No, Great. Now even the judge gave me the kid treatment. Very well. Shall we begin, Your Honor? Also. Her clothing is just as valid as his. Yes, I suppose we should. Now then, Prosecutor Sudamati, please give your opening statement. I'll show them what I can do. They'll be sorry they underestimated me. Certainly. Let the last rites of the victim commence. The incident is believed to have occurred at around 4 p.m. yesterday, May 12th, at a Storyteller's theatre called Gurukurute. The victim was a great master of the Tornado School of Rakugo, or comedic storytelling. His name was Typhoon Tornado. The scene of the murder was the theatre's dressing room. It is accessible via the staff entrance hallway and has an inner and outer sliding door. Backstage diagram added to the court record. Diagram of the backstage area showing the location of the stage, the dressing room, the yard, and possibly a doghouse and dog bowl? The estimated time of death is between 2 p.m. and 5 p.m. The cause of death is suffocation, though how the victim was suffocated is yet to be determined. The autopsy found nothing unusual in his lungs or stomach. There is no murder weapon. I will now submit the incident report to the court. Crime scene report added to the court record. The crime took place in the theater dressing room. Master Tornado was found with his face thrust into a large soba bowl. Typhoon's autopsy report added to the court record. The time of death is between 2 p.m. and 5 p.m. The cause of death is suffocation. Prosecutor Cinematic, how can you name Mr. Wett as culprit when you don't know how the victim was killed, or even with what? While it is true that the weapon and precise method are as yet unknown, the accused is the only one who had the opportunity to commit the murder. I will explain this assertion in further detail as we continue. I just means he has some kind of evidence to present. Now, would the accused care to plead his case?
Come to think of it, where is the defendant, Miss Sykes?
Sorry, Your Honor, but I'm afraid Mr. Wett isn't feeling very well and he's resting in the infirmary. Surely, it is the lack of a clear conscience that impedes him from facing this court. Right, starting off on the wrong foot already. Mr. Wett is the head chef of the sober shop frequented by the victim. On the day of the incident, Mr. Wett went to the theatre at the victim's request. Typhoon Tornado was a connoisseur of soba. As you can see in these photographs, he was apparently making soba himself in his dressing room that very day. The soba found at the scene is likely the soba he himself made there. Liking soba's one thing, but making it in the theater dressing room is a bit much, no?
Master Tornado truly had a passion for soba, didn't he? For a man like that to be murdered by a soba chef is simply unthinkable.
And yet, the accused had ample motive, for in the victim's safe, we discovered the deed to the accused's shop. Mr. Wett was to inherit Wett Soba when he lost his father recently. However, it's believed the victim stole the shop's deed during the transfer process. The prosecution believes the accused killed the victim in order to get the deed back. Wett Soba deed added to the court record, found in the victim's possession. It's the deed for the sober shop. The deed holder is Bucky Wett.
A murder over the deed to a shop. That does sound like a plausible motive.
So that's what this case is about. I wish Simon filled me in a little better. You did tell him you weren't going to ask him for help. I could have contributed more than just $1,000 to cold sweat if you had. Defense. From your demeanor, I gather you know very little about the details of this case. Actually, no, I only have the things we've talked about so far. My attorney's badge. It's lost that brand new shine, but that just shows how far I got. Okay. Yes. From your demeanor, I gather you know very little about the details of this case. Well, you see, you are dishonoring the soul of the victim by appearing in the courtroom unprepared. You are an embarrassment to your profession, you putrid egg yolk. Hey, I'm sorry. I was a red pepper and now I'm an egg yolk? We've only just started and I already been demoted from spring chick. I'm ready to call my witness, Your Honor. Let us listen to the words of one who was present when the crime was discovered. Someone who was there when the victim's body was found? Very well. Witness, please take the stand. Witness, please state name and occupation. Simon Blackwell, I'm prosecutor. Prosecutor Blackwell? You didn't tell me you were going to take a stand. There simply wasn't time. What a shame, Prosecutor Blackwell. Had you shared the damning scene you had witnessed beforehand with the defense, we could have moved this trial along and saved the victim's soul that much faster. Damn insane. What in the world did Simon say? Prosecutor Sadmati, was it? Before I give my testimony, there's something I'd like to confirm. By all means. This case involves rakugo, a very traditional form of Japanese comedic storytelling. Do you have enough knowledge of this art form to handle the case competently? Are you implying that I am not qualified for this case? Okay, we know nobody does any checking for whether people are qualified for this, for what they do. They just let Athena in off the street with no knowledge. They have done many cases with no thought for conflict of interest between bark. Are you implying that I am not qualified for this case? Not yet. I'm simply trying to ascertain your familiarity with the topic for now. It is a prosecutor's duty to learn the background of any case he takes on. I did some research on rakugo last night and have grasped the overall idea of it. He read the Wikipedia article. How much could you possibly grasp in a single night? Rakugo is a form of entertaining storytelling that originated in Japan. In it, storyteller sits alone on stage. The rakugo artist tells long, whimsical stories, giving each character a distinct voice. This traditional art was originally invented by monks to make sermons more interesting. Are you satisfied? If not, I could explain the 12 types of endings to such stories. Or shall I perform the famous story Jugimu instead. Like it to. It appears you put in a bit of study. Your acknowledgement is most welcome, Prosecutor Blackwell.
I can see why you're known for being quite thorough in your research, Professor. Prosecutor. Now, I would love to see you perform that story you mentioned, if you don't mind.
No. If that is your Honor's request, Jugimu. Your Honor, could we please get back to trial?
Oh, right. Of course. I nearly forgot.
Seriously? Of all things for you to forget.
Now then, back to the case. Prosecutor Blackwell, please tell this court what you witnessed.
Witness testimony. What Simon saw. I went to the theater yesterday and arrived at approximately 4 p.m. I went straight to Master Tornado's dressing room to say hello. Bucky went into the dressing room thereafter, only to come storming out a while later. Master Tornado's junior disciple, Uendo, apparently then entered the room soon after. That's when Uendo discovered Master Tornado's body. Now, wait just a minute here, Prosecutor Blackwell. With testimony like that, you're practically accusing Mr. Webb of the crime. He is the defendant.
All I can do is state what I saw. I can't help how it appears. But a qualified and capable attorney such as you should be able to dispatch with it, right?
Well, yeah, duh. All right. I guess I better start by getting all the info out of them I can. Cross-examination.
What Simon saw. I went to the theater yesterday and arrived at approximately 4 p.m.
Hold it!
Prosecutor Blackwell, what'd you do to go to the theater for? What'd you go to the theater for in the first place?
I went because I had received an invitation from Master Tornado. Here, see for yourself. It was a special show commemorating his junior disciple Uendo's promotion. It was also an occasion to announce the boy's succession to the stage name of Uendo II.
So what exactly does it mean to succeed to a stage name?
You really don't know, do you? In the performing arts, a name succession is when an artist inherits a predecessor's name.
I see. So there's another Uendo Rakugo artist before, and his disciple succeeded him, huh? What exactly your invitation say?
It contained a simple letter of salutations and an outline of the show's program. Oh, it appears Typhoon Tornado is going to perform Toki Soba, or Time Soba. He's famous for his masterful pantomime of eating soba using only his fan as a prop. And Uendo was to perform Soba Sei, or Soba Glutton. A soba-themed show, I see. It seems you know a thing or two about Rakugo yourself, Repugnance. The first to perform was the senior disciple, Geiru, followed by Uendo, and, lastly, Master Tornado. Okay. Invitation added to the court record.
I see. So that's why you happened to be at Storyteller's Theater yesterday. So what happened after you arrived?
I went straight to Master Tornado's dressing room to say hello.
Hold it!
How did Master Tornado appear when you said hello to him?
I went with the intention of greeting him, but ultimately we didn't actually meet.
You didn't see him? Why not?
Gator escorted me to the dressing room, but we heard the sound of Rakugo being performed from within. Thinking the master was rehearsing, we decided to wait in the hall until he was done.
You heard Rakugo being performed in the dressing room?
Yes, not just me, but Gator as well. In other words, you can confirm that the victim was still alive at around 4 p.m.?
Is there a radio in this room? Is TV?
In other words, you can confirm that the victim was still alive at around 4 p.m.? Correct. I couldn't hear him clearly through the doors, but I'm sure it was Master Tornado. I could tell because it was the time sober routine being performed in there.
So that means the victim was killed sometime after that.
Bucky went into the dressing room thereafter, only to come storming out a while later.
Hold it!
Please tell us in detail how Mr. Wet appeared that time.
Gator and I were waiting in the hallway for Master Tornado to finish practicing, when Bucky appeared and entered the dressing room with his things.
What happened after that?
We heard what sounded like Bucky shouting inside the room. About 10 minutes later, Bucky came back out of the dressing room looking rather irate.
This is most likely when the murder was committed.
The victim was an elderly man. It would have been entirely possible to kill him within the span of 10 minutes.
I better come up with some kind of counter-argument fast.
Master Tornado's junior disciple, Uendo, apparently then entered the room soon after.
Hold it!
What do you mean by apparently? Didn't you see him go in?
No, I couldn't. I wasn't able to see the dressing room door from where I was standing at the time. But Gator was right in front of it, so I'm sure she saw it all.
I see. Why do you suppose Wendo went to the dressing room anyway?
He had just finished his routine, so he was making a courtesy call. A disciple is to pay their master respect right before and after each performance.
And all disciples are expected to do this?
Yes, it's common courtesy among Rakugo artists.
I see. Could you tell us what happened after Wendo went into the dressing room?
Certainly. That's when Uendo discovered Master Tornado's body.
Hold it!
And how did Wendo act at the time?
After Uendo had been in the dressing room for 2 or 3 minutes, we heard a scream from inside the room, and Uendo came flying out.
Did you hear any signs of a struggle at that time?
No, just Uendo's woeful scream.
I see.
Well done, Prosecutor Blackwell. Your testimony has given us quite a glimpse into the sequence of events. Thank you, Prosecutor Blackwell. And now, please allow me to summarize your testimony. While Prosecutor Blackwell and Gator were in the hallway waiting for Master Tornado, the accused came along and entered the dressing room with some items in tow. He was heard shouting for a time inside the dressing room. And about 10 minutes later, he came back out of the room
seeming rather angry. A short time after the accused had come and gone, Wendo Tornado went into the room. A few minutes later, after having discovered the victim's body, Wendo gave a scream and came running out into the hallway from within. Prosecutor Blackwell and Gayru then ran into the room and saw the body for themselves. From the circumstances, it is quite clear that the accused murdered the victim.
This is crucial testimony indeed.
Simon's statement added to the court record. Defense. An eyewitness has given conclusive testimony. Why not let it all go now and allow the victim his last rites? Not on your life. If Wendo went in the dressing room too and was the first to discover the body, then who's to say he didn't commit the crime? Wendo was in the dressing room for a mere 2, perhaps 3 minutes. He could not have possibly committed murder in that time, nor without making any noise. Oh, Simon, why do you have to give that awful testimony? Prosecutor Blackwell, can't you give me something a little better to work with here? Isn't it up to you to ask the right questions? I'm certainly willing to tell you all that I know. So if you are truly as capable as you claim, then draw out what you need yourself. There's no time for your twisted games, Prosecutor Blackwell. Just admit you don't remember it all that well.
サトライマオマンドもさましで足し抜けたれガセよそろか
Sorka! Prosecutor Blackwell, watching you collude with the defense like this, I see that you are no prosecutor. Begone, witness. You shall haunt this sacred hall no more. How dare you treat me like some evil spirit to be exorcised? I'll remember this, you blackguard. Don't worry, Prosecutor Blackwell. I got this. Would I have my way, he would not be the only one here to step down. You half-boiled, putrid egg yolk. Ew. I object to the notion that I'm a gooey-smelling mess. Prosecutor Blackwell's testimony was like the lowly opening act of a Rakugo show. He may hold the title of prosecutor, but this time he stood on the side of the defense. To restore balance to this trial, I would like to present an actual witness for the prosecution.
And who is this witness?
The person who was with Prosecutor Blackwell when the body was discovered. She's another entertainer of the Tornado School, Ms. Gayru Tornado. They're all named after winds. This is Gale. Oh no.
Please state your name and occupation, witness.
Hello, everyone. I'm here to represent the Tornado School with a twisty twist. And blue! There you have it, a stunning balloon hat. It's me, the balloon artist you all know and love, Gator Tornado. Just call me Gator, sweetie. 1, 2, balloon. Okay.
What a way to capture your audience's attention. I dare say I can't take my eyes off those balloons.
Please tell me you're talking about the hat, Your Honor. Oh, Mr. Judgy, I'm so glad you liked my performance. Would you consider joining my fan club? Would you please?
Oh, absolutely.
Please save your fanboying for after the trial, Your Honor. Anyway, Gator, I can't help but notice you seem awful cheerful for just having lost your master. Of course I'm sad, but Shisha would scold me if I didn't put on a big smile. Never show sadness. Smile, smile, smile with a twisty twist. And boom! There you have it. One gorgeous cake. I see. I guess an entertainer's gotta do what an entertainer's gotta do. Her balloon art's worse than a Rorschach test. All I saw was a severed monster head. Huh? Gator, you're obviously a balloon artist. So how'd you come to be a member of Rakugo School? Well, my father, my late father that is, was a Rakugo artist, you see. So I joined the Tornado School to be just like my daddy someday. I see. My father and I owe so much to Shisho, our master. But that Bucky Wet, oh, how could he? I want to see him pay for what he's done as quickly as possible.
Your distress is entirely understandable. Add my condolences for your loss.
And not only that, but he... You have more to say about Mr. Wet? Every time he comes to deliver soba to us, he yells at me. He always tells me to get away. Is there any reason why he'd say such a thing to you? He says the smell of my perfume will get into his soba and ruin it. Like, how can he say that? This is a great scent.
How very rude of him. I don't blame you for being upset.
Excuse me, Your Honor, but please don't let Gator's balloons bias your judgment. Mr. Wet hadn't been proven guilty yet, remember? It will be interesting to see how long that fire of yours will last. Defense. Now then, Gator, please share the truth with this court.
Yes, Gator. Your testimony, please.
Well, before the murder was discovered. Heck and heck. Really is going to be the bark. Okay. From 4 p.m. to a little bit after 4:20 p.m., when Shisho's body was found, Simon and I were standing in the hallway in front of the dressing room. Before Uendo discovered the body, the only person who had gone in there was Bucky. Come to think of it, a little while before Bucky showed up, Jugimu was barking like mad.
Jugemma.
Prosecutor Blackquill, Do you have any objections to this witness's testimony?
No.
Make up your bloody mind, sad monk, sad Maddie. First you exercise me, now this. You need only do as you're instructed by this humble servant of the Holy Mother. As there are no objections, Your Honor, let us move on to the salvation of the victim's soul.
Hold it!
Hi, I'm a defense attorney here, Prosecutor Sadmati, and I just might have an objection or two once I actually cross-examine the witness. So what are you asking Prosecutor Blackwell for? I'm the one you should be checking with. There is a page in the sacred, there is a passage in the sacred scriptures of Huraianism. Stir the wind, it's beyond the power of spring chick. In other words, the inexperienced are useless. With that in mind, it seemed more judicious to consult Prosecutor Blackwell. He doesn't even see you as an adversary, Sykes-Donner. Well, I won't let either one of you insult me. I'll show you I'm no inexperienced spring chick. Your Honor, I'm ready to cross-examine the witness.
I hope you can make Prosecutor Sadmati see you as a worthy adversary, Miss Sykes. I'll allow your cross-examination, so you'd better strike while the iron is hot.
Before the murder was discovered, from 4 p.m. to a little after 4:20 p.m., when Chisho's body was found,
Hold it!
so murder must have happened sometime in those 20 minutes, correct? But 20 minutes isn't a lot of time, is it? I know. I mean, what do you want me to say? That's what happened, you know. Isn't that right, Simon? Yes. Gator and I can both confirm that Master Tornado still lived at around 4 p.m. Oh yeah, you can, can't you? Oh. See? Simon and I were standing in the hallway in front of the dressing room. Oop.
Hold it!
The fact that two of you were there in front of the dressing room means you were able to see everyone who went in and out, right? Of course. Oh, are you insinuating that I was daydreaming, sleeping, while standing up or something? No, of course not. I saw everything, I tell you. Fine. So you say anyway, but did you really? Okay. Sorry, I'm getting disconnected. Before Uwendu discovered the body, the only person who'd gone in there was Bucky.
Hold it!
Only defendant in the window entered around the time of the murder? That's right. That's why it must have been Bucky who killed poor Shisho. Let's take a deep breath, okay, Gator? So, not a single other person set foot in the dressing room during that time? I already told you over and over, didn't I? There was nobody else. I must apologize on the lawyer's behalf. Even her memory is that of a spring chick's. Please overlook her transgression as best you can. Oh, I see. Poor thing. Hang in there, sweetie. Hey, who are you calling a bird brain, buddy? Come to think of it, a little while before Bucky showed up, Jugamo was barking like mad.
Hold it!
Jugum. Jugum? That's my doggy. I keep him at the theater. Let's see. With a twisty twist. And bloom, there you have it. My cute little Jugamo. He's kind of creepy looking. Oh, but he's a really, really good boy. And why was Jugamo barking? Do you think it's because he saw someone suspicious? If so, we'd have a new suspect in this case. Now, why is he barking again? Oh, yeah. Now, why was he barking again? Oh, I remember. Because it was time for me to feed him. So I went into his yard and gave him some food. Couldn't somebody have slipped in the dressing room while you were doing that? No. The door out into the yard was wide open. I would have seen if anybody went into the dressing room. Prosecutor Blackwell, come down and stand for a sec, please. How many times must I do this? You saw what Gator was talking about, right? So why didn't you mention it before? I can't be expected to remember every minute detail. Well, remember them now, please. Did Gator go out into the yard? Yes, I remember now that she went to feed Jugamo. And I saw her looking towards the dressing room quite frequently as well. Do you recall anything else? It looked as though she were feeding the dog a great quantity of dumplings or something. Jugamo couldn't finish them all, so he buried the rest in a corner of the yard. That's about all I can remember. Simon's statement updated in the court record. Looks like Gator's telling the truth. Your Honor, I thought Gator's last statement added to her testimony. As you wish, defense. I was in the yard, but the door was wide open, so I could keep watch on the dressing room. Okay, so around time of murder, David and Simon were hanging out just outside the dressing room. Guess I'm gonna have to find a flaw in there somehow if I want to get anywhere. Okay, so I'm going to actually press this new statement.
Hold it!
You know what this means, right, Gator? You weren't in the hallway the entire time after all, were you? Well, okay. So I did go out into the yard, but it was just for a second. And the yard door was wide open, so I could still see the dressing room the whole time. Door was open, so she could still see the dressing room? Prosecutor Blackwell, I need you on stand again, please. What am I, your lady in waiting? Do you remember anything about the time Gator was in the yard? Simply that Juggum buried a food he couldn't finish in a corner of the yard. That's about all I can remember. Thank you. I didn't really need to hear about the dog again, though. When I finished feeding Juggum, I returned to the hallway. And then I saw Bucky go into the dressing room, no question about it. Okay, so around time of murder, Gator and Simon were hanging out just outside the dressing room. Guess I'm gonna have to find a flaw in there somewhere if I want to get anywhere. Okay, so this is gonna go back to the map we have, right? Compared to this. Tell me about this. Yeah, if you're out feeding the dog, there's not a lot of, the door has nothing to do with it. There's a window, but not a door.
Objection!
So, you were able to keep an eye on the dressing room while you were out in the yard? Is that correct? That's right. The door out into the yard was wide open. Sorry, but that makes zero sense. Take a look at this diagram of the backstage area. There's a clear contradiction between this diagram and the witness's testimony.
Oh? I'm afraid I don't understand, Ms. Sykes. Please point out what contradicts the witness's testimony.
Oh, the door opens to actually block the path. So it's not just that, she wouldn't have line of sight from the doghouse. Literally, if the door was open, that's actually blocking the path.
Take that!
Gator was in the yard near the doghouse. Prosecutor Blackwell even saw her there. And while she was out there, the door of the yard had been left open.
Oh, I see.
Yes, if the door of the yard were wide open, as Gator said, it would have blocked her view, making it impossible for her to see the dressing room. What? No way. But even if there were admittedly a few moments Gator was not keeping watch, how much would that really affect this case? It greatly affected his case. From the spot Prosecutor Blackwell stood, he couldn't see the dressing room door either. Anyone could enter the dressing room during that time without being seen. Gator, why did you try to hide the fact that you weren't watching the dressing room? What?
Objection!
Hide the fact? You speak as though you think she had something to do with the murder, rather than deliberate deception. It was more likely simple oversight. Right, witness? Well, I was so shocked by what happened. I was just confused, that's all. Even though she's trying to keep a brave front as an entertainer, the truth is she's been torn apart by grief. For her mind to be in turmoil is hardly unexpected.
Yes, it must be very difficult indeed.
To a disciple, one's master is akin to a real parent. Surely her shock is immense. The way this lawyer tries to pin the blame on this poor soul at the first opportunity. All I can say is defense attorneys are heartless creatures indeed. But that wasn't what I was trying to do. Is it beyond your comprehension, defense? Your unskilled argument is scarring this witness even further. And if we ask the people of this courtroom, I'm sure they would agree. What? Gary didn't get a say in this. Are you afraid to find out that they think ill of you? Or that perhaps you are in the wrong? Listen to them now, with that keen sense of hearing you're so proud of. He's right, that was harsh. She didn't have to go that far. I feel kind of sorry for the witness. Why is the lawyer's outfit so yellow? No, I was just trying to find the truth. Why is the whole gallery siding with Prosecutor Sadmati? The people understand. They know what is right, what is wrong. That lawyer's still in training, isn't she? Why is she all by herself? I hear the voices of the gallery. I can hear the voices of their hearts. It's so intense. I feel so alone up here fighting by myself. Are you afraid, child? It is ludicrous to come to trial with such paltry preparation of the soul. I command you to leave this courtroom at once. But I can't give up. I have to keep pressing on. As long as there's a moment when nobody's watching the dressing room door, the defendant can't be convicted solely on Prosecutor Blackwell and Gator's testimonies. Even now, you would continue to resist. Childish in defeat as well, I see. I'm not out for the county yet, Buster. I'm just getting started. Despite your posturing, is it not true that your resolve could crumble at any moment? With but a little push, you would surely succumb to despair. A little push, such as with this piece of conclusive evidence. Conclusive evidence, huh? That is correct. We found a critical piece of evidence at the scene of the crime. The victim's dying message, which clearly implicates the accused, Bucky Wet. Look at these Japanese playing cards, known as karta, lined up on the table. These special English version karta cards spell out a message. That message, wet number 4. Wet number 4? You mean wet noodle number 4? Yes, wet noodle number 4 is the 4th head chef of Wet Soba, is also known. This message points to none other than the accused, Bucky Wet. No!
Well, that makes perfect sense, doesn't it?
Wow, great job, Mr. Prosecutor. Oh no, it's really, really bad. What do I do? What do I do?
Crime scene report updated in the court record. Contains photos of the crime scene. The victim's dying message is clearly visible in them.
Would you still carry on your futile fight in the face of this irrefutable evidence? You can say whatever you want, but it's cruel to give the accused false hope. He's still in the infirmary, it doesn't matter. You will only compound his suffering. Wise people of the courtroom, do you not agree? He's right. It's cruel to make him suffer when there's conclusive evidence. What an incompetent noob. I feel bad for the victim and the defendant. What? But I'm trying to prove Mr. Wett's innocence here. I know you can hear them, defense. Their voices implore you to save the accused soul. It is time for you to let it go and to move on, you inexperienced lawyer. You lack the incompetence with which to accomplish anything meaningful here. Is he right? Is this too much for me to handle on my own? What good is she doing anybody? She should just quit right now. Now, defense, leave everything to this humble servant of the Holy Mother.
Silence!
He's trying to use your keen sense of hearing against you to manipulate the trial, Athena. What a cheap trick for a supposedly holy man. Salmon. And you fop-doodles in the gallery, can't a man watch a trial in peace? This inexperienced amateur is about to turn the trial around. Does that prosecutor really think she can turn things around? The mood in this courtroom is starting to change.
Prosecutor Blackwell, what are you doing at the defense's bench?
I grew bored of watching from the gallery. Besides, if I were to leave this trial to this sprig chick and lose my favorite soba shop in the process, I would be quite cross. You voluntarily stand on the side of impurity and sin. Truly, what a fool you are. To think you were so easily manipulated by his parlor tricks. Whatever happened to qualified and capable Athena? I just let my guard down a little bit, but it won't happen again. And gird up your loins and steel yourself for battle. I'm not girding up anything in this skirt, but I am ready to get serious. It seems there is now yet another soul I must cast down into hell. I was in prison for a long time, and hell sounds no worse than cell, to be honest. But the fires of hell will not be the end of your suffering. For the sin you've just committed, you shall surely be reborn as a panda in your next life. A white and black reverse panda, that is. And you shall be put in a zoo to be exposed to public ridicule. Thread like that won't work on Prosecutor Blackwell. After all, he's already used to looking like a panda in this life. Who are you calling a panda? Sorry. I see that you are both prepared to face the fires of damnation. Gale, thank you for your service. You may step down now. Okie dokie. Bye bye baloo. Does everything have to be about balloons with her? Now then, I have a witness prepared to testify about the Carter cards.
And who is the witness this time?
The first to discover the body, someone who witnessed the crime scene beforehand, Mr. Wendo Tornado. The time has come for that ponytailed pair over there to finally let it all go and move on.
Very well, let's bring in this witness then. Witness, please state your name and occupation.
I'm the Rakugo storyteller Wendo Tornado. Even if my performance isn't worth watching, I will certainly watch my words. I wouldn't want to say anything thoughtless and get arrested. After all, that'd be Rakunona. Thank you, everybody. Good night.
Hold it!
You can't leave yet. You've only just introduced yourself. Oh, my. Are you a fan of mine, miss? Would you like my autograph? One moment. Ow! What do you think you're doing? No need to stand on ceremony. My fan deserves a fan, after all. A fan for a fan. Nice one. Oh, why, if it isn't Simon. How are you on this fine day, sir? Quite a dilly of a pickle we found ourselves in, wouldn't you say?
I don't believe I've ever seen you talk quite so much, Wendo.
Never performed in a place like this, you know. I've got butterflies here, can't you see? Why do I always get the witness?
Pardon me, witness. As much as I enjoy your banter, I believe we'd better return to the case at hand.
I suppose you're right. In that case... I was promoted to Futatsume yesterday and received the stage name of Uendo. The show is our way of celebrating my new name and middle rank standing. And then that happened. I never dreamed something like that had happened, not in a million years. And just as I got my chance to start repaying my debt to Shisho, too. Yeah, plus I'm worried about Gator. The way she clung to Shisho, poor thing. I told her to keep a stiff upper lip. Stuff like rigor mortis, stiff like rigor mortis. Keep telling those lame jokes, and Shisho will come scold you from the grave. I wouldn't mind getting yelled at, you know, if it meant seeing him again. Wendo, please. As charming as your various characters are, this isn't a Rakugo stage. Let us hear your testimony now, witness. Tell the court about the evidence left at the scene, the proof of the accused's guilt. Shisho's dying message. I noticed Shisho's dying message right away. The stiff cards are right there next to the stiff, you see. Hey now, enough of the silly pens already. Anyway, I got the meaning right away. I knew it must have been talking about Bucky. That was the Master's final message, left as he was drowning in soba broth. It's so like Shisho not to write Bucky's name outright. Plain and simple wasn't his style.
Well, that was certainly a more entertaining testimony than usual. The variety of characters performed by the witness was absolutely splendid.
But he shouldn't be performing any characters in the first place, Your Honor. And Wendo, the murder weapon hadn't been determined yet. So how can you say the victim was drowned in soda broth?
It's obvious. All you have to do is look at the crime scene. He was found with his face shoved in a bowl. It's only natural to assume he was drowned in the broth for the noodles.
Except we're not here to assume things, Wendo, so please stick to just the facts. My, it's so like a chauffeur to kill someone this way, wouldn't you say? And with the character message he left behind, it's clear Bucky Wet did it.
Setting aside the issue of the murder weapon for now, that dying message certainly does seem to be irrefutable evidence.
Indeed, it proves the absolute guilt of the accused. Even I've got to admit that I can't see how that message could mean anything else. I mean, somebody else could have done it. They had 10 minutes to find the right cards. Actually, heck. He died of suffocation. Suffocation is like not a death where you're necessarily going to be arranging playing cards. Like either perhaps you've already lost consciousness and you fall asleep with your face in the bowl, or someone is perhaps choking you or holding your head under. It's a very for the most part, with exceptions, for the most part, if you're suffocating, that kind of means you're not in full control of your activities. Anyway. Bucky used sober for the deed, all to get back the sober shop deed. This testimony makes Mr. Ware look super guilty. I have to do something.
That is conclusive evidence. What a farce.
What do you mean, Simon?
What's this? I thought you said you weren't planning on asking me for help.
I did and I won't, thank you very much. Simon must have found an inconsistency in the testimony. I better listen carefully and try to see what he found. Cross-examination. Shisho's dying message. I noticed Shisho's dying message right away. Why?
Hold it!
Wendo, when you saw cards on the table, what made you think they were Master Tornado's dying message? Well, it was a coded message right there next to the body. I'm sure anybody would have thought they were there to name his killer. I love murder mysteries and often watch them on TV. Oh? Well, I see. I saw a similar scene during a murder mystery marathon last Tuesday. That's what made me think this must be a dying message. Oh. So you are already put in mind of ways to point the finger at people? The stiff cards are right there next to the stiff, you see.
Hold it!
Cards were on the table your master's body was slumped over, right? You must have been surprised the calm noticed them at the time. As I said, the stiff cards were right there next to the stiff, so they were hard to miss. Wouldn't it have been more natural to notice the victim rather than the cards? The message just caught my eye because the stiff cards are right there next to the stiff. Yes, but that fact card will seem significant enough to make a person take note of it. Stiff cards. Next to the stiff. She ain't gonna notice. So basically, there was no real reason for him to catch your eye, was there? Hey now, enough with the silly puns already.
Hold it!
That's right. I need you to give your testimony, not perform a scene. Please remember, you're on the witness stand, not the stage. I mean, look at all these wonderful people in the audience. It's only natural for an entertainer to want them to have some fun. I guess we could let a few jokes slide, right?
Ah, the inevitable bleeding of your work into other areas of your life. I know how that is. I find myself being unwittingly judgmental in my professional life, too.
Right. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Well done, Your Honor. Guess you can't judge a judge by its cover.
I advise the defendant not to be so critical of the witness.
Yes, Your Honor. Much obliged. Anyway, I got the meaning right away. I knew it must have been talking about Bucky.
Hold it!
Cards do spell out wet number 4, which could be interpreted as wet noodle number 4, I guess. Do we have a show of that? Victim was making soba noodle from scratch. The dressing room is covered in soba flour. 2 drink cans in the fridge. Those will totally be relevant later. How could they not? Okay, number 4. W-H-E-T, it sure is. Heck. They're just noodle-themed cards, too. That's definitely the case. Which could be interpreted as wet noodle number 4, I guess. I suppose you took this to mean Bucky Wet? There's only one wet noodle around here, and you've seen that giant 4 on his back. It's the only interpretation that makes sense. Yeah, I guess so. But wait a minute. What is it? Well, if there's another wet noodle in the air, come on. What? Did I say something strange?
Bucky is the whole heir to the shop. So enough with the ludicrous straw grasping.
Hey, how's I supposed to know?
Just listen to the testimony again. Find the glaring inconsistency.
And that was the Master's final message, left as he was drowning in soba broth.
Hold it!
So the victim lined up those cards in his final moments. How can you be so certain that's how it went down? I know Shisho. He would never let someone get the last word on him, even in death. With his face in the soba broth and his consciousness fading away, he left a message that pointed toward Bucky as he left this world. How? If your face is buried in a soup bowl, you are not arranging cards. It's the only way it could have happened. Wait. The only way? Now you're just speculating. Look, a dying message is something you leave as you're dying, right? I saw a scene like that in a detective show. Window, we have a saying in my country, silence is more precious than diamonds. Please do not speak any more than is necessary. But talking is my livelihood, you know. I talk all the time, this and that, truths and untruths. I can't stop myself from talking. Hopefully you'll stick to truth without any of those untruths. It's so like Shisho not to write Bucky's name outright. Plain and simple wasn't his style.
Hold it!
But don't you think it's strange? Could a dying person really leave such a convoluted message? Even in the throes of death. Talking like that for. Even in the throes of death, it was in Shisho's nature to throw in a twist somehow. Truly the consummate entertainer to the very end, don't you think? Was he really that great of a man, Simon? It would have been no easy task, to be sure. But who knows? He wasn't an entertainer for 55 years for nothing. If I ever met a big one like that, I want to leave a message as good as she shows. Well, let's hope it never comes to that. So, Simon, are all rock and go artists like this? It's hard to say. It could simply be the eccentricity of an entertainer, or perhaps he's hiding something. Well, he doesn't have to entertain people in court of law. And if he is trying to hide something, maybe he'll show up as a contradiction or something. Okay. So you notice it right away, for some reason. Stiff cards right next to the stiff. Were they really? I mean, kind of. You know, enough with the silly puns. Objection! I got the meaning right away, and you must have been talking about Bucky. Incidentally, did we determine, is this just soup or is it blood? Also, that is another message. The roughing pick to only 10 yen? That's poorly read. Could not read it correctly. Also, suspicious focus on power outlets. We've got one here where the thing's disconnected. Either the TV or the fridge, and I guess since the light is on in the fridge, it's the TV. Well, I guess there's a few things that could be plugged in here, like this guy too might be. But the point is, only the fridge is actually powered, everything else is not showing plugged in. The other picture also shows another outlet with nothing in them. Is this going to be meaningful? I don't know. Suffocation. Nothing was found in his lungs. That actually suggests not drowning. We said suffocation, not drowning. That's a thing. Not that it necessarily counts as a substantive disagreement, but... See, inside the envelope was a ticket to the show and a letter from the victim. Howdy, do, guy, welcome out. The letter contained a simple greeting and a rundown of the show's program. Gator was to perform a balloon act, then Wendo was to do his soba glutton routine, and finally Master Tornado was to perform his time soba routine. Okay. Simon's statement. Master Tornado was confirmed alive at 4 p.m. Only by probably the sound of the TV, but, you know, theoretically him practicing. Bucky Wet entered the room at 4:10 p.m. and left at 4:20 p.m. Wendo discovering the victim's body upon entering the room after Bucky left. Before Bucky came to the theater, Gator was outside feeding her dog a number of dumplings. The dog buried his leftovers in the yard. Interesting. Okay, so first off, he wasn't drowning. And that's kind of important. Also, again, if you're drowning in a bowl of soup, get your face out of the bowl of soup. Don't rearrange cards you can't see and hope they spell them. There's a contradiction in Wendo's testimony.
And would you care to explain where, Miss Sykes?
Certainly, Your Honor. According to the autopsy report, nothing unusual was found in the victim's lungs.
Ah, yes. It does say that, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. If he had drowned a bowl of soda, then there should have been soda brought in his lungs. But since there wasn't any, it means the victim was suffocated with some other than soda broth.
What?
This is a contradiction you noticed, didn't it, Simon?
Not bad. Not bad at all.
I guess I showed you.
Hmm.
I mean, it's completely kind of irrelevant to anything that was actually said, but sure.
But if drowning in the soda broth wasn't the cause of death, then when was the victim's face thrust into that bowl?
Taft Tornado's thrust was thrust into the bowl after his murder. So if it was before his murder, he presumably would have been breathing it in. Likewise with during. If there's nothing in his lungs, then he must have not been breathing anymore. Because no soda broth was discovered in the victim's lungs, his head must have been placed into the bowl after he was killed. And that's when the soda broth must have been spilled on the cards. In other words, victim could not have lined up the cards as he was drowning.
I see. So it was done after he was already dead. But why would the culprit do such a thing?
I'm afraid I don't know yet.
Objection!
You boast of psychological expertise, yet you cannot determine such a simple motive. Oh yes, good night, Bacon Mutt. You've already left, probably. Thank you for coming by. Thank. My sides are liable to split at the absurdity. What? And I suppose you know why? Of course, desecrating the body in that manner indicates a strong sense of enmity on the part of the perpetrator.
Yes, that does make sense. It certainly paints a clear picture of the culprit's intense feelings toward the victim. You love your soba noodles so much,
Die in them. Feelings of resentment over the theft of the sober shop's deed, no doubt. Just great. Now,
Choke
Judge.
on these nudes.
Harass me for nudes, will ya?
Silence!
Must you come undone at every juncture? If the culprit had enough time to set up Master Tornado's body, do you think they would have honestly failed to notice the dying message? Good point. Cards were right in front of his body after all. Rationally speaking, there's no way the culprit could have missed that, huh?
Objection!
But was the accused rational at the time, given the way he stormed out of that room? Okay, I'm gonna throw a poll at y'all. Y'all know what to do with it. We swap games, so will you continue with this one? Obviously, we will continue with this one, but you know, that's the magic of democracy. Which I need to stop calling that. Was the accused rational at the time, given the way he stormed out of that room?
Silence!
Never mind that. I have something more important to ask Wendo. Me?
You saw the Carter cards firsthand, didn't you? Would you care to tell us about them in a bit more detail? Those tiny crime scene photos show us precious little of what I wish to know. Well, those cards are from Shisha's special Soba Scenes of Tokyo Past set. Each card is related in some way to Soba. Spare me the history lesson. Just tell me how the cards looked at the scene, and no more. Well, there was soba broth spilled all over them. That's not much help, I'm afraid. Prosecutor Sudmari, do you have a photo that shows the cards more clearly? I do. Please accept this meager offering, Your Honor. Oh my, what delightful looking cards. Wavy, hound, equipment, traditional, nostalgic, ouch. 4. Zarusoba. Alright. Spirit of Justice wins the poll. Let's keep it going. Oh, heck. Oh my, what delightful looking cards. Well, well. Tearing Prosecutor Sadmonk's conclusive evidence apart should be a breeze with this. Heck, heck, heck. Oh, hey, howdy. Test 0. Oh yeah, we had fun playing Book of Eos. She says here, developer Book of Eos just finished watching Evolve from earlier this year. You really enjoyed it. Glad you seemed to have a lot of fun playing through it. Appreciate how much attention you paid to all the minor details put in the game. It seemed like you get JRPGs like that. That's exactly the sort of vibe you were going for when you made it. Yeah. Like I say, we did have a lot of fun. And yeah, it was... Thank you for showing up and saying that you enjoyed that. Alright. Tearing a Prosecutor Sadmonk's conclusive evidence apart should be a breeze with this. Huh? Don't tell me you haven't noticed. Don't be silly. Of course I have. Not noticed anything, but I can't just say that now, can I? Carter cards out of the court record. Carter cards in the victim's dressing room. They spell out wet number 4. Okay, so... Ms. Sykes, do you really see a problem in the prosecution's claim about these cards? Yeah, let's see here. So the thing that we're seeing is... Oh no. Okay, so the issue is that where these cards have soaked up the broth does not align with the actual cards as they're placed. Things should have been placed elsewhere. Oh, good heck. Okay, so what we're looking at is, it's like a puzzle. Okay, so it actually says O-W-E-N? Owen? Wait a second here. Like, that top part is easy, just because what would go in there, But, let's see here, that leaves us with... Yeah, TH4. What are those? T in the bottom middle. 4 on the left. And then H in the bottom. O in the 4th. O in the 4th, yep, exactly. That's what it looks like it should be. Now, is it going to let me describe that complaint? Or is it going to make me go through menu options that completely don't bark? Well, go on then. Alright, let's do or die. All I have to do is state a picture and... These cards were rearranged.
These cards are rearranged.
But how can you tell?
Please take a good look at these cards, Your Honor. The answer's right in front of us.
Where exactly should we be looking, Miss Sykes?
The soba broth stains. Please focus your attention on the soba broth stains on these cards. The outline of these stains don't match up with the larger stain on the table.
Oh, would you look at that? You're absolutely right. And
Please recall the soba broth was spilled and got on these cards after the murder, when the victim's face was placed in the bowl.
yes, go on.
By stains, we can see the culprit deliberately rearranged cards after that. In other words, this message was altered in order to pin the crime on my client.
What? Then, if we put the cards back in their original positions,
We can restore the evidence and see who the cards were really pointing toward.
that's true.
Or could... Then what are we waiting for? Let's do this. All I have to do is rearrange cards so the stains match up. Let's see. Where was this W card originally? Alright, okay. Alright, we're just gonna place each one the way they go. That's fine. We just did this using the power of our minds. Perfect, okay. The H card's next. Let's see. Where's this H card originally? It's a lot easier when you just move them out of the way. Yes, now the E card. Let's see, where's this E card originally? Yeah. Perfect match. Next up's the T card. Let's see, where was this T card originally? Oop. Great, that fits right in there. Now the N card. Let's see, where's this N card originally? Way over here. There, that looks good. Now, O. Let's see, where was this O card originally? Oh. Nice, almost done now. Last card is 4. Let's see, where's this 4 card originally? Last spot.
Take that!
So the message way at number 4 was originally supposed to say "Oh" in the 4th. And this original message not include the identity of true culprit. Because they don't have a wind-themed name, they're not anybody we know yet, are they? Nope.
What?
Huh. But an indignant look on prosecutor side of Monk's face is positively priceless. This is absurd. So it was originally O in the 4th? It wasn't where number 4. Maybe the lawyer's smarter than we thought.
Order? Order in the court? Well, I never would have imagined that there was more to these cards than meets the eye.
Product of cards updated in the court record.
So, now that that's settled, what does this O in the 4th mean?
Wait, am I? Who else do you suppose is to provide an explanation? Of course it's you. But I hadn't thought that far yet. Change the cards around all you like, but if you cannot explain what the message means, then it is worthless as you are, defense. No! And so, the spring chick that fancies itself a graceful swan is brought back down to Earth. I have to do something, but what? Still your thoughts for a second. There's a perfectly good witness to question over there. Oh, right, that's a good idea. Come on, Athena, get a hold of yourself. Window, does the phrase on the fourth mean anything to you? No, there's no one named Owen in the Tornado family or our circle of friends. Go ahead, ask anybody you'd like. You can't be serious. Having rummaged through your empty mind, I see you have, as expected, turned up nothing.
Silence!
I'm afraid I have no idea who the devil this Owen the Fourth is either. But the fact remains that the cards were rearranged to pin the blame on Mr. Wet. That in itself proves the defendant isn't the real culprit. Prosecutor Blackwell's right. Besides, the important question here is not who's the message to point to, but rather who rearranged cards. Why didn't you point that out earlier if you already knew? Oops, sorry. In any case, there are two opportunities for someone to rearrange cards. First was when Mr. Wet entered the dressing room, and the second was when we discovered the body. Are you accusing me of rearranging the cards? Me, who came to testify out of the goodness of my heart? Well, you didn't exactly come running out screaming straight away, did you? Even a mere 2 to 3 minutes is more than enough time to get up to some devilry. So what exactly were you doing in there, Wendo? Put down the tea and spit out your answer. Mr. Prosecutor, what's a guy supposed to do at a time like this? Silence is more precious than diamonds, witness. Therefore, you need only stay silent. The defense is devious. They are waiting for you to make a slip of the tongue. Oh, I see. So that's what they're after, is it? In that case, Your Honor, I've decided not to say another word. Very good. After all, your right to remain silent is protected by law. Well, Prosecutor Blackwell, any other brilliant ideas you'd like to share? Did you hear that, Sykes Donor? A Rakugo artist who's afraid to speak. Who ever heard of such a thing? Are you trying to taunt him into talking? Such a petty trick will never work. That's right, I'm not going to fall for it. I'm only asking to hear your story. Besides, is it not your job to tell your tales if there is an audience to... What am I talking as him for? If there's an audience to listen. Even so, I have the right to refuse to answer. The more you keep quiet, the more we want you to talk. That's simply human nature. Isn't that right, people of the gallery? Even with this wonderful audience in front of you, you still refuse to talk. If so, then perhaps you chose the wrong line of work, my friend. Are you saying I should quit? Because I'm not afraid to speak my mind, I'll have you know. Oh, no. Never mind what I just said. It is scary to talk. It's absolutely terrifying. But no, as a Rakugo artist, I must talk. If I don't, how can I ever show my face on stage again? Your Honor, I'm ready to testify. He did it. He managed to convince Uendo with his pair of suggestion technique. Bully for you, Uendo. That is a real Rakugo artist should be.
All right. If the witness wishes to testify, then by all means, please do.
To be turned by such an obvious ploy, what a man of weak spirit. Witness testimony in the dressing room. After my performance, I went to visit Shisho. I called to him from outside the room, but he didn't reply. When I entered the dressing room, I saw Shisho slumped over the table, motionless. From what I can tell, there do not appear to be any inconsistencies in the testimony. I don't know where my head is today. Of course there aren't any, because I'm not trying to hide anything. Prosecutor Sadman is right. I don't see anything inconsistent either. But I did pick up on some faint discord in Uendo's heart. Ponder all you would like, defense, but it is pointless. Your Honor, I believe there is no need for further deliberation.
Hold it!
Well, I disagree, Your Honor. I detected discord in the voice of the witness's heart. That's a clear indication that Uendo is facing some sort of inner turmoil.
Are you saying what I think you're saying, Miss Sykes?
Yes, Your Honor. The defense would like to conduct a quick therapy session on this witness.
Objection!
Uendo, there is no need for you to submit to this so-called therapy. It's fine by me. I have nothing to hide. Bring it on. Impetuous fool, why will you not listen to the guidance of this humble servant of the Holy Mother?
If the witness wishes to proceed, I see no problem, prosecutor.
In one ear and out the other. It seems this performer has no need for your so-called guidance, Prosecutor Sadmonk. Why do I keep saying Professor? Prosecutor Sadmonk. Just know this, Uendo. Your folly will surely earn you divine retribution. Thanks, Simon. I'll make the most of this opportunity you created for me. Just keep your wits about you. I will. Uendo, could you tell us again about what happened in the dressing room? After my performance, I went to visit Shisho. I called to him from outside the room, but he didn't reply. I'm not happy, but okay. When I entered the dressing room, I saw Shisho slumped over the table, motionless. see the distress involved. This was cheerful from the performance. They did just get the promotion and such. Called to him from outside the room. Didn't reply. Okay. I didn't really notice any unexpected emotions in that testimony. But it isn't always a question of the presence of emotional response, but the absence. You know, you're right. It's not always emotions I do see. Sometimes it's a matter of what I don't, but would expect to see. I better carefully compare Window's statements to his emotions again. Alright. Performance. Happy. Call to him from outside the room. Still kind of happy, you know, positive experience. But he didn't reply. You know, nothing to write home about yet. You went to the dressing room, you saw him slumped over. Why aren't you surprised by this? You're sad, but you're not surprised. Disappointed, but not surprised.
Got it!
Window, I'm noticing something strange with these emotions. Something stranger with cheesy toast skin, you say? No, something strange with these emotions. How could you heard something stranger with cheesy toast skin? I don't know. Maybe it's me who's got some cheese in my ears. Did he wheel the floor to open up and swallow his cushions out of shame for that bad joke? The point I'm trying to make is that I noticed something unexpected in your emotions. Now stop hiding and come out where we can see you. Bailiff, please bring the witness a few replacement cushions. Cushions? Good heck.
Quasar.
Quasar. So, what was this unexpected thing you noticed? Oh, come on. His Honor said a few cushions, not a few dozen.
Now that we've all had a good laugh, please continue, Miss Sykes.
Who's laughing? Focus, Thana. Don't let yourself get rattled. When you entered the room and saw your master slump motionless over the table, you weren't the least bit shocked at Window. Don't you think that's a little bit odd? Is it, though? Lack of surprise means you were prepared for what you saw. And I think I know why. The reason the Window wasn't shaking when it saw his master's dead body is because he got some entertainer's guts. He knew about his master's death. Window, I think maybe the reason you weren't shaking is because you already knew you'd find your master dead. The spit take. What? What kind of thing is that to say? You've got it all wrong. Oh, right. I just remembered something. I thought Shisha was just sleeping when I first saw him. Then why were you sad? You thought he was sleeping? Sounds plausible, but what made you think he was asleep? Well, he had his head and arms up on the table, as if he were taking a nap. Oh, and one other thing, there was a note, too. A note? What note? He must be talking about this. No, that's not the note we saw. Resting, do not disturb. It appears to have been written by the victim. Allow me to read it. Resting, do not disturb. Yes, that's the note I saw. After reading that, who wouldn't think Shisha was napping?
That is a pretty reasonable assumption.
You gotta be kidding me. Taifu's note added to the court record. A note thought to have been written by the victim before his death. On camel paper. That's right. I saw this note, so that's why I thought Shisha was asleep. Now, camel paper. There was a bottle of camel right here. Oh no, there's all sorts of camel going on. So, bottle of camel. Camel buns? Individually wrapped in camel wrapping paper, which is not the same wrapping paper that the thing is written on. That's certainly a thing. That's right. I saw this note, so that's why I thought Shisha was asleep. I went to change my testimony to include that statement. All right, I run an update. After my performance, I went to visit Shisho. I called to him from outside the room, but he didn't reply. Info update. When I opened the door, I thought he was sleeping. Where did you see this note? Question mark. But something seemed off, so I rushed over to him. Are you angry about that? I was shocked to find him dead, but I couldn't believe my eyes. There's one emotion seems out of place given the Window's actions and statements. I wonder why I felt that particular emotion then. If you've noticed something, then hurry up and point it out already. I know, I'm just trying to be thorough, that's all. It looked to me like you were just being timid. I was not. You just watched me pinpoint the heck out of his emotions. Okay, so why was he angry?
Got it!
Window, I noticed something funny in your emotions again. Funny, you say? I guess an entertainer of my caliber can make people laugh even with my emotions. I didn't mean that kind of funny. Quite the opposite, actually. When you went into the dressing room, I see you suddenly felt anger. What I want to know is what made you feel angry all of a sudden? What? Let's see. Oh yeah, now I remember. As I was going in, I whacked my little piggy on something. I was annoyed at my own clumsiness. Wait, you mean you stubbed your pinky toe? Just a little bump on my little piggy. No big deal. It's embarrassing, really. Sounds more like he's hiding something. I better dig a bit deeper. No need to be embarrassed, Window, but I'm afraid it's something we do need to look into. I don't really see anything you could stub your toe on. I mean, isn't there like a step here? In the air around the dressing room door in this picture. Yeah, that's absolutely a step. You see the discontinuity there. That isn't necessarily it. Maybe there was something there at the time? Window, what exactly did you stub your toe on?
Objection!
What an irrelevant question. You dishonor the soul of the victim with these unnecessary delays. You tell her. Really, who doesn't stub their toe every once in a while? You really gotta fuss over every small detail like this? Well, thing is... Even the most subtle of the fluctuations in a person's psyche can clue us in the truth. That's why it's important to get to the bottom of this question. Plus, if I back down now, who knows what new insults Simon hurl my way? Is there really no trace left of where the Window stubbed his toe on by the door? What in the world might have been there then, but is not there now? That's a suspicious indentation in the ground. But also, bark. What did Windows stub his toe on? Possibly the box. The box is the only thing that's moved. No, wait, hold on. The whole table is moved. Okay, so this, both correspond to bits of the table itself. The table is moved. But that doesn't explain why he stubbed his toe on it, because it's not an area. It's not in a different area than it was, and she said there wasn't anything in that area. But bark. There also isn't. Well, I mean, could be this. Might explain why this paper's all the way over here. What window stubbed his toe on by the door? It was there then and is not there now. I'm gonna go with this just because it's not square against the bark, and it has the interesting paper. I don't know.
Take that!
Window, is this what you stub your toe on? No, it's not. Oh, I could never stub my toe on that. That would really be starting things out on the wrong foot. Right, Mr. Golden Age?
Golden Age? Don't you dare send me off the retirement home yet, son. Anyway, I hope Miss Sykes didn't stub her toes on her teeth as her foot entered her mouth.
Well, Defense, are you ready to let it go and move on now? Of course not. What a window stub his little toe on is a vitally important question, I think. Is there really no trace left where the window stub his toe on by the door? What in the world might have been there then, but it's not there now? Like, that's the thing. I don't like the fact that this table is moved. Oh. The TV might have been moved. It was behind him. Plugged into the other thing. I'm gonna try the TV. I know the table is visibly moved. I don't want to bark.
Take that!
Please take a good look at this photo of the crime scene. Oh. Do you see it? This long track goes from the door all the way across the room? I did not.
Now that you mention it, I do see traces of something getting dragged.
And the drag mark ends there at the TV. This implies the TV was originally by the door. I'm convinced this TV is the object the witness stubbed his toe on. Well, Wanda, how about it? Yes, you're right. It was the TV. There. Noise level dropped again. Yes, I stubbed my pinky toe on the TV. But what of it? Why is it so important to you? So noise went down, but it hadn't completely disappeared yet. Which means he's still hiding something. Okay then, let's try this tactic instead. Window, why was the TV moved there? Shisho must have moved it so he could watch my routine. But what a place to put it, right in the middle of the doorway like that. I didn't want to bump into it again, so I put it back where it belonged. Performances on stage can be viewed in the dressing room using that TV. That's right. It's a closed-circuit monitor that shows the stage. Crime scene report updated in the court record. Contains photos of the crime scene. The victim's dying message is clearly visible in them. Includes additional info. I see. Now what? I can't find anything else out of place. And I still ain't got the noise level down to 0 yet. Simon, I'm still getting noise here, but I don't see anything else fishy. This is precisely why amateurs are such a bother. So, sorry. I'm in no mood to play nursemaid here, but if that's what it takes to save the sober shop. Hoi, window. Here's a curiosity for you. This table Master Tornado slumped over looks like it was moved. Did you happen to bump into it while you were moving the TV back? Oh my, yes, you're right. The TV hit the table, and Shisho's body moved with a jolt. That's when I first realized that Shisho was dead. Oh, but how scared I was. I see. Thank you. We're finally getting a more precise picture of how the body was discovered. But I'd wager you need to put spurs to the window just a trifle longer. Right. I can't keep asking Simon to bail me out like this. It's time for me to regain my footing and really stand on my own. Window, what you said just now about discovering your master's death? Could you please describe all that again for the court in detail? All right. But before you do, let me just plug in the latest information. After my performance, I went to visit Shisho. I called to him from outside the room, but he didn't reply. When I opened the door, I thought he was sleeping. Info update. I tried to enter the dressing room, stubbed my toe on the TV. When I put the TV back in its normal spot, I realized that Shisho was dead. Oh. Info update. Seeing him slumped over that cluttered table. Oh, Shisho. I'm not really seeing any emotions I consider out of place. How about you, Simon? How many times are you going to come running to me? Hey, you're standing in the assistant's chair, seat, position, whatever. If you're gonna sit there, play the part. No, I was just looking for second opinion. Well, take another good look at the flow of emotions. Don't just look for simple inconsistencies, look at the intensity of his emotions too. I see. Thanks, Simon. After my performance, I went to visit Shisho. Still happy. Called to her from outside the room. He didn't reply. Opened the door, I thought he was sleeping. And no emotion. Tried to enter the dressing room, stubbed my toe on the TV. Mildly angry. Put the TV back in its normal spot. I realized that Shisho was dead. Sad and surprised. Seeing him slumped over that cluttered table. Oh shoot. Why were you more surprised that the table was cluttered? I mean, presumably this is where you saw the death note. Well, that's odd. After initial shock and finding the victim dead, you reacted with surprise again. What was it that surprised you, Wenda, besides your master's death? What do you mean? What's more, you were more surprised the second time than the first. What could have surprised you more than finding your late master? Sir, to me, your little thingy must have made a mistake.
Silence!
The girl is as sharp as a trout. Oh no. The girl. Oh no. The girl is as sharp as a trout, to be sure. But her ability to hear people's emotions is absolute. Now, get to remembering, Window. What was it that surprised you? It was a compliment, right? Well, noise went up. No, we pushed him too hard and now he's mentally all over the place. His emotions are completely out of control. Out of control? Care to explain how that's relevant? You know how normally I listen for the hidden emotions in a witness voice, right? From there, I look for inconsistencies between their testimony and those emotions. Sometimes a person's feelings can run too high, making it hard to get proper readings. So that's how your matrix program works. Fascinating. Ordinarily, it's just one emotion that runs out of control. Well, it seems there's nothing ordinary about this time. I too will hydrate. Oh, good heck. Make sure all this is connected. Nope. Oh no. Panic. After my performance, I went to visit Shisha. Angry. I called him from outside the room. Sad. But he didn't reply. Further distress. I opened the door. I thought he was sleeping. Surprise! I tried him on the dresser and stubbed my toe on the TV. Anger. When I put the TV back in its normal spot, I realized the Shisha was dead. Surprise! See him slumped over that colored table. Oh, Shisha. Sadness. I knew it. What's got your knickers all in a bunch now? The window has multiple emotions running out of control at the same time. I've never seen anything like this, ever. So how does one bring a situation like this back under control? Well, I have to find the root cause of this tangled mess before I can treat it. If I can identify what's causing this emotional rampage, then I can probe with the L button to dive in further. I'll need to point to what I think is the root cause, hit probe again. Through this process, I can identify exactly what's causing the window so much distress. And that will help bring his emotions back under control. In that case, let's get started, shall we? Alright. I can't guarantee success, but it's definitely worth a shot. Time to look for the root cause of Windows rampage emotions. After my performance, I went to visit Shisha. I called him from outside the room, but he didn't reply. When I opened the door, I thought he was sleeping. Tried him at the dresser, stubbed my toe on the TV. When I put the TV back in its normal spot, I realized that Shisha was dead. Seeing him slumped over a cluttered table. Oh, Shisha. I mean, okay. We talked about all the shenanigans. One of the shenanigans was they did rearrange. Someone rearranged the cards. Incidentally, ChatGPT, their AI picture reconstruction shows the cards in their correct position. So you were distressed by the Carter cards, and you were the one who wanted to move them.
Got it!
I get it now. Cards are the root of it all. Don't try to deny it. You can't hide your feelings from me. The dying message that was left at the scene of the crime is what's causing your distress. And if a dying message was caused by those feelings, then that means the phrase "oh, and the fourth" must mean something to you. Clarity. Perfect eyeball. Perfect emotional clarity. There. Noise level 0. Finally. The dying message consists of 2 words, Owen and fourth. Neither of these 2 words have anything to do with this witness. This topic warrants no further argument. Heck. Sure, there may not seem to be any direct connection between a window and the message. For now. But why don't you wait and decide what's necessary after you hear my theory? I trust you've hit upon something. Sorry. I trust you've hit upon something, Athena. Yep, if my theory's right, we can finally solve the case of window and a mysterious Owen fourth. Well, go on then.
I can already tell this promises to be interesting. Now, please share your theory with the court, Miss Sykes.
There's something puzzling me about a window's out-of-control emotions just now. Namely, there were 3 distinct reactions present. I'd never seen that before, and I wondered how it could be possible. Is it a conclusion to this meandering musing of yours? Next game poll time. Y'all got 2 minutes to choose. Oh no. This is not likely to be in doubt. But again, engagement bait. Is there a conclusion to this meandering musing of yours? Hold your horses, I'm getting there. So, could a person flip between 3 distinct emotions with such intensity like a switch? That's literally their job. In the end, I concluded it just wasn't possible. So that's it, is it? A bit unconventional, but I'll grant that it's possible within the realm of psychology.
Within the realm of psychology. I'm afraid you'll have to explain it for the old man up here on the bench.
Your Honor, my theory is that a window is a robot, has supernatural powers, has multiple personalities. Look, y'all. This is indeed. We've just been showing all their Rakugo artistry. So many distinct personas, it's clear to me that,
Clearly a robot.
oh yeah, because you know, that's how this works. We have magic and robots in Phoenix Wright World. The window has dissociative identity disorder.
What does that even mean?
Your Honor, the defense would treat this trial as a child's jest. Multiple personality disorder, a preposterous position indeed. Proposition. Would you not agree, witness? How does she know? How did she figure it out? Porkunka. I can't believe it. I did it. I did it, Simon. I've read papers on it before. But to think I'd see a case of it for myself. I mean, we already know that people have the internet at this point in time. Because the previous case, we already had social media, people being canceled that way and all that. Bark, bark, bark. There are plenty of plural people online. Blimey, Rakugo artists tell stories as different characters, but as different personalities. Hey you, lawyer girl. You got a problem with us, hmm? No, no problem at all.
This is all very hard to believe. But now that we've established that the witness has multiple personalities, could each of them please introduce themselves to this court?
Uendo Tornado. I'm a Rakugo storyteller, as you know. Hello, everybody. Patch is the friendly jester here.
Kissing our courtesan.
Is that all of you?
Yes, that's all of us.
So there are 3 personalities in total. Uendo, Patches, and Kisingawa, huh? Well, Simon, what do you think now?
That you're one lucky duck. Just be glad they were dense enough to help you out.
Can't you just straight up say I did great for a change? Huh.
You appear to be quite proud of your self-defense. But all you have done is infringe upon the privacy of the witness.
I couldn't agree more. I couldn't disagree more, prosecutor. Now we know there are 3 personalities. Maybe Owen's the 4th. A new way for us to interpret the meaning of a certain piece of evidence has risen.
A new interpretation? Oh, no, I'm very curious. What is this piece of evidence you're talking about, Miss Sykes?
Now we know about Uendo and his personalities, this now makes perfect sense.
Take that!
The Carta cards.
That's right, Your Honor. Recall the original dying message left at the scene. We didn't have a clue as to what Owen the 4th could possibly mean. But now, with some new information about Uendo and his personalities, isn't it possible that Owen the 4th actually means a secret 4th personality of Uendo's? Personality named Owen?
What?
Porkunka. Uendo must have kept his dissociative identity disorder from us because he didn't want to be associated in any way with that dying message. No, that's not why. We kept our disorder secret for a different reason altogether. We've been taking advantage of our affliction to act out various Rakugo characters. If word of this got out, well, our reputation as a Rakugo artist would be tarnished, as with the Tornado name. That's why we kept it a secret from everyone, except members of the Tornado School. But really, there is no 4th personality. It's just the 3 of us in here.
A plausible enough sounding story. But it doesn't prove you didn't rearrange the cards, does it? But I will concede that it is highly likely that the witness rearranged the cards.
Is Prosecutor Sad Matty actually agreeing with us?
However, is it not also possible that the accused killed Master Tornado? And then left that message in order to frame the witness? And upon noticing the cards, he found the victim's body. Uendo rearranged them
Silence!
A fantastic tale, but a tale nonetheless. No one outside the Tornado School knew about Uendo's multiple personalities. Uendo just finished saying so himself. Ah, that is a true, but ultimately meaningless point. The witness was only in the dressing room for 2 to 3 minutes. That's far too little time to commit murder, wouldn't you say?
Objection!
And who say he couldn't have done it before his discovery?
Objection!
Ah, that spring chick memory of yours. Have you already forgotten Prosecutor Blackwell's testimony? Simon's testimony? Oh. Gade escorted me to the dressing room, but we heard the sound of Rakugo being performed from within. Thinking the master was rehearsing, we decided to wait in the hall until he was done. That's right. Until just a few moments before Uendo entered the dressing room, Typhoid Tornado was confirmed to still be alive. Ah, no. Not only that, but Uendo was on stage until just before he discovered the body. Bulletproof alibi have already confirmed with several audience members. Oh, no. I also heard that his Rakugo performance that day was a steaming pile of... Well, you get the picture. Yes, I'm afraid so. Really stung up the stage, I did. And yet, I have a perfect alibi. Indeed. Why not land the coup de grace on the defense by describing your alibi, witness? Okie dokie smoky. Witness testimony. Uendo's alibi. I was on stage until just moments before I went into the dressing room. The entire audience was my witness. But my performance was a huge bust. Not a single soul laughed. I'll never be able to live down how terribly I bombed during that very important show. Okay. So, obviously what Blackwell reported as the man practicing was clearly the TV projecting from the stage the show that was quiet and had no audience reactions in it. That could have sounded like live practice. Uendo was on stage before he found the body, so he could not have committed this crime. It is time to let it all go, defense, and to move on. Nah. Well, get this, prosecutor said, Marty. The right anything agency never gives up. We fight to the bitter end. Allow me to say this once more. Let it go and move on. Allow me to say once more, I'm never giving up. Let it go and never. This is pointless. You should have taken advantage of this opportunity while you still could, you foolish child. Worthless convictions only serve to prolong the accused's suffering. If words will not sway you, then perhaps pain will. Oh no, anything but this.
悟ら今をまども覚ましで足し抜けたれがせよそろか
Whose big idea, Prosecutor said, Matty? That was but a small dose of punishment for your misguided convictions. Are you now a bit more inclined to give up as instructed? As if. In that case, you must require another dose. Not bloody likely.
Objection. Weapons in courtroom.
Musky, hey howdy, welcome in. Ooh. I don't give two flips about your beliefs.
Morning, morning.
But if psychs don't know what to submit to here, I won't be able to eat good soba anymore. That's right. For Mr. Wet's future and Prosecutor Blackwell's stomach, I'll never give up. You will rue those words, defense. Of that I can assure you. Cross-examination. Wendo's alibi. I was on stage until just moments before I went into the dressing room. The entire audience was my witness. Okay, we'll do this one bit at a time. Break. As usual.
Hold it!
How can we be sure it was you who's on that stage? Are you asking whether it could have been some imposter? I guess so. Unlike a big arena, a Rock-A-Go Theatre is a cozy little place. It would be hard to fool an audience in such an intimate setting, don't you think? Yeah, I guess you're right. Good. I'm glad we could clear that up, because I guess you could say the entire audience was my witness.
Hold it!
Was there anything special about the stage or your performance you can tell me? For example, were the lights dimmer than usual? Were there any problems or accidents? Not a thing. Everything was the same as always. Mr. Prosecutor, you questioned the audience, didn't you?
Beep BOP.
Beep boop! No! Welcome in as well. Back. Yes, of course. Apparently nothing seemed amiss to them, except, well, one small thing. One
Baba
small
boy.
thing? Baba boy. Oh, it's so embarrassing. I tried my best. Really, I did. But my performance was a huge bust. Not a single soul laughed.
Hold it!
Do you have any idea what went wrong? I'm not sure if it was my performance, or if it was just that particular audience. Maybe it was a story I picked. But every entertainer knows this kind of thing happens from time to time. I guess that makes sense. Still, I wonder how I could have flopped this uncommemorative show. Maybe I should dig in things a bit more. What did you perform? This would be good to know, because we have testimony. I don't know if we have testimony about specifically what was being played, aside from the actual sober glutton
Glutton.
Yes. Eat all the soba. Okay, so theoretically, evidence says that they was doing soba glutton. Now, thing is, if they say something different, that's a thing. Number of audience members. I don't see the relevance, especially of that. Did you tell me which Rakugo story you performed? I could, but I'm not sure if it would mean anything to the uninitiated. Well, even if I might not get it, can't you at least try me? Alright, if you insist. The story I performed is called Tokisoba, otherwise known as Time Soba. And we determined that is incorrect. That was the master's routine, not yours. Window is not Master Tornado. Time Soba, huh? Maybe Window's right. He's only said the name of the routine. I'm already lost. So you performed Time Soba. Did you? What? You know a prosecutor said, Marty? In the course of my studies last night, I became familiar with a number of stories. I must say, Defense, you would do well to prepare better for your next trial. Simon, what's Time Soba about? Look it up yourself. Allow me to give an overview. The story takes place on a winter's night. A man orders a bowl of soba at a street stall. How you doing, sir? What can I get for you? You got seaweed top, hanamaki soba, mixed toppings. There's nothing like a hot bowl of noodles and soup to warm the soul. You know it's one shipku coming up. So how's business? Not so great, sir. Is that so? Well, that's great. Because things can only get better from here, right? Wow, prosecutor. The customer talks on and on like this. Finally, when he's done eating, he goes to pay for his soba. So how much do I owe you? 16 months, sir. I see, solid, I have some change on me. Count the coins in your palm. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hey, what time is it? It's 9, sir. 10, 11, 12. Aye. Very well done, Prosecutor said Maddie. That was excellent. Huh? I don't get it. What's so funny about that? Don't you see? The customer paid with coins, counting out one by one. Then, just after counting 8, he asked about the time. And sober and added with 9. Oh, now I get it. He made the vendor say 9, and he continued counting from 10. Exactly. He cheated the sober vendor out of 1 month for smooth talking. The story continues with another man who saw the whole thing and tries to do the same. But he bungles the trick and ends up paying more than 16 months for his soba. The story ends on that as the punchline. You can look up the rest of the details yourself. But I'm sure Prosecutor Sad Monk over there would love to perform it for you after court. So basically, it's a story about a man cheating on a soba bill? Well, that's kind of petty, isn't it? Is that really all you have to say about this classic story? Time Soba, such a well-known staple. Fine, so you've studied a lot. But rather than time for a lecture detour right now for Prosecutor Sad Monk. Oh, I wanted to hear a little more, but I suppose it is off topic.
Getting back to the matter at hand, Miss Sykes, the witness stated that the story I performed is called Tokisoba, otherwise known as Time Soba. Would you like to add this statement to this testimony? Yes.
Should I have a statement out of testimony? Yeah. Yes, Your Honor. I'd like to have it in.
Very well. Very well. The story I performed is called Tokisoba, otherwise known as Time Soba. I'm just going to fix that. Because...
Objection!
Window, isn't there something odd about the routine you perform? Odd? No, I don't think there's anything odd about it. That's exactly what I find odd. The fact that you don't think it's odd.
Objection!
You're discussing the witness's alibi at the moment's defense. The show's program is completely irrelevant.
Objection!
That's where you're wrong, prosecutor said, Marty. Reason being, it contradicts a statement the witness just made. Wendell, do you know what this is? No. What is it? This is the invitation the show sent from Master Snyder to Prosecutor Blackwell. Including the invitations to run down the show's program, which clearly states that Time Sober was to be performed by Master Tornado himself. No. Wendell, why'd you perform the routine your master was scheduled to do? Well, you see, the reason for all that is... How do I say this? You see, let's say it was, a prank? Yeah, that's right. It was just a little joke, you see. I was trying to surprise Shisha by performing his routine before he did. I don't know if I buy that. Was doing the victim's routine really just for laughs, or... Hi, didn't Simon happen to hear Time Sober come from the dressing room? During Window's performance on stage? Seems like too much of a coincidence. Wait, can it be... What's the matter? You look like a hen with a dozen eggs to lay. Stop comparing me to birds! Then cease this bird-brain timidity. If something has occurred here, then lay it out for us already. Don't breed resentment in those watching your performance. Okay. I don't have a ton of confidence in this theory, but here goes. Looks like Windows alibi checks that, Your Honor, but even though he was on stage at the time, he may have been trying to obfuscate a crucial detail about this case.
Are you referring to the sober bill the man tried to skimp on the witness's story?
I'm not talking about the Rocky Ghost story, Your Honor.
Oh, I'm sorry. But then what are you talking about, Miss Sykes?
What Wyndham may have been trying to deceive us about was... time of the victim's death, yes. Window tried to deceive us about the time of the victim's death.
What?
Objection!
What's gibberish? Prosecutor Blackwell even testified to the time of the victim's death. I know. But he only testified that way because he and Gator had been completely taken in.
You mean by the sober bill thing?
Would you please forget about the story for a second, Your Honor? I was deceived. Great hand, how did Window manage to deceive two people while he was performing on stage? Well, that's easy. All he had to do was use a certain prop in the dressing room.
Oh, and what might that be?
prop Wender used was television.
Take that!
Pray tell, return to waking sands.
Well, this TV was used to view what was happening on the stage. Prosecutor Blackwell, when you came to the dressing room, what was Wendo doing? He was performing Time Sober. Blast, could it be? Yes, it could, and it was. Well, you and Gator Herb was not Master Tornado practicing his routine. He was Wendo's performance heard through his TV monitor speakers.
What?
With TV just inside the inner door of the dressing room, it could easily be heard from the hallway outside. And because we knew that Master Tornado was scheduled to perform Time and so on, we were easily manipulated into thinking he was still alive at that time, rehearsing. Yes, your knowledge of the day's program is wild too. You could be filled this way. Simon, the voice you hear belonged to Master Tornado?
The door's in the way. I couldn't tell exactly who the voice belonged to. But because I heard Time Sober, I just assumed it was Master Tornado. Can't believe I was taken in by such a simple mind game.
Objection!
All of that is mere conjecture. Where is your proof? Defense?
Objection!
Wendo moved TV back when he discovered the body. After all, he couldn't very well leave by the door. He's in some of my figure-out trick he'd been playing. There's one more thing about Wendo's actions that's suspicious.
And that is...
The fact that he flopped so badly on such an important occasion.
What's so suspicious about that? Even pros slip up once in a while, you know.
But I believe this time it was intentional. Because Wendo knew it to be strange to hear laughter coming from the dressing room.
Oh my.
Yikes. It's all just a bit too perfect to be sheer coincidence. Plus, the voice prosecutor Blackwood and Gator heard was due to Wendo's scheming. And the victim's time of death could have been earlier than 4 p.m. In other words, Wendo could have killed Master Tornado himself.
We've got you by the stones now, Wendo, so you'd better confess everything.
Ah.
Well, Winners, what do you have to say for yourself?
We demand an explanation. Wendo.
I confess. I tampered with the crime scene.
Easy the defense's claim that Wendo Tornado is the true murderer in this case. If you tampered with the crime scene, then we have to please consider him a suspect.
Now, wait just 1 minute. Yes, I admit to meeting with the dressing room, to messing with the dressing room, but I didn't kill Shisha.
Then why'd you tamper with the crime scene?
Ha, the stack of cushions.
Cushions. I refuse to answer that question. Cushion.
Yeah, the other ones are bark, bark, bark.
I refuse to answer that question. What? If you suspect this witness, Then I have a question for you. What could be this time? Rendo had absolutely no reason to murder Tornado. After all, why would Wendo kill the man who recognized his skills and promoted him? Oh, well, his motive was, I can't think of a single thing. It appears you are also not aware of one other fact. And that is that the accused visited the dressing room before 4 p.m. as well. Is it not natural, then, to suppose that the accused killed the victim at the time? What? Nobody told me Mr. Wade had also gone there before 4 p.m. We're only discussing the time frame after 4 p.m., so I didn't think to mention it. Now that you have made up the time period, before 4 p.m. relevant, I don't like where this is going. So, really do not know what your client was doing during that time frame, do you? Well, it was all very sudden, and why did you wait till the very last second to contact me, Simon? Don't you give me that look. And just so you know, Bucky never told me he visited the master before 4 p.m. This sort of thing is... this sort of thing's exactly why that prosecutor keeps calling us unprepared. The defense will stop quabbling this instant. Sorry, Your Honor. Okay. We have reached time. We're gonna call it from here. Oof. Because shenanigans. Also, that it is the end of stream.